Welcome to a Red Velvet Ninja's Guide for Gloomclaw in Datascape. You will want to bring 3 tanks and 3 to 5 healers. The DPS and the healers will want to bring interrupts, ideally 2 separate ones. Tanks should also have an interrupt and also a CC break. Specifically, DPS spellslingers should have slows for kiting in one of the phases. Also, pick up the add-on, tap that. You will thank me later. In addition, I will also be including a full fight, start to finish, with some commentary. So, Gloomclaw. This fight is pretty sweet, forcing the raid to push phases at specific times, maximizing DPS, handling adds, healing NPCs, constantly dodging telegraphs, and interrupting. This fight has it all. To start out, Gloomclaw is trying to make the entire room look more phasey, instead of looking Elden-y. You want to do the opposite. When the encounter begins, Gloomclaw will come into the last Elden section that your raid should be in. One tank with a CC break and a healer will babysit Gloomclaw in the middle. This boss doesn't have a whole lot to watch out for, just avoid telegraphs and keep him pointed towards the entrance. An even split of DPS should be guarding the logic essences that will be sitting on opposite sides of the room. In the first room, a wave of strained parasites will be heading towards the logic essence and attempt to kill it. They do some telegraphs, interrupt those casts because they do hurt the essence. Upon killing them, they will drop a green telegraph that will give a healing buff. This healing buff will make it possible to top off the logic essence in a timely manner. After DPS handles the waves of adds, head to Gloomclaw and start burning him down. Leave the healer on each side to keep working on the essence. Eventually, an additional wave of adds will come to your essence, so peel off old Gloomy and start working them over. Don't forget to interrupt. Soon you will realize Gloomclaw has one big spellcast that needs to be interrupted, called Rupture. This ability has plenty of interrupt armor, so assign the proper number of players to handle this. Typically those players who have long-range interrupts are assigned to Rupture duty and don't throw for any other reason. Allowing Rupture to go off deals tons of damage and pushes you back a phase, so you might as well just wipe. No pressure or anything. Upon successfully healing your essences, Gloomclaw will go into a moo. Make sure this is timed well, so that the DPS is in proper position. Best case scenario, you will have him at his cap, which is 65% for this section. If you don't, no worries, you will have some downtime in the next room to chip away at him. Try to make it a goal to have Gloomclaw at his lowest possible life for each room. This way you have less to chip away at later on, because the fight only gets harder. So, next room. So this time you'll have telegraphs that blind and deal damage, as well as new adds. One is a Scourge, which disarms people. This is a huge issue for the healer trying to get the essence up. The other is the Franz. This annoying strain jellyfish that will waste your interrupts or collapses to get him in proper position. Between adds, chip away at Gloomclaw to bring him down to his minimum health. Upon healers topping off their essence, Gloomclaw goes into a moo and burn him down. His minimum HP is 45%. Also, as a side note, if Gloomclaw hits 100% corruption, he will push you back into the previous room. So don't let that happen. Alright, room 3. This time your adds are 2 parasites and a Ravager. Ravagers are pretty tough and have Wall of Corruption that must be interrupted immediately. It is a high damage line telegraph that is just horrible. Don't confuse this with Corrupting Rays, which isn't as important. Around this phase you may notice an ability from Gloomclaw called Command Attack. Apparently Command Attack can be cast in other rooms, but this is the one where you'll definitely notice it. Command Attack empowers one of the adds, forcing them to ignore your tank and go directly for the essence. Interrupt them and burn them down immediately. If you can handle these adds and mechanics, then you're set. Then just chip away at Gloomclaw. Now, room 4 is pretty easy except for the slingers, at least in our raid. There are these big strain frogs called volatile maulers that are going to start popping up and coming for your essence. We have our slingers slow and snare these frogs to give the rest of the raid time to pick up the crystals that are flaking off your essences. This is the reason why you have add-ons. Go around collecting, use rolls and sprints to get back quickly. More flakes will come off when all are collected. If they don't, someone is still handing them in, or you could be missing one. When enough flakes are collected, Gloomclaw will go into a sweet moo. Room 5, Gloomclaw pulls out all the stops and basically summons everything. On top of that, he will tether people to an egg with Manifest Corruption. Just another thing to DPS down. Everyone needs to really focus on the adds and the eggs. Make sure everyone is only throwing one interrupt at a time. There will be tons of casts going off. And don't forget, Gloomclaw still loves to cast Rupture. Upon your healers getting the essences topped off, Old Gloomy goes into his final move. DPS has to end the fight in this move or Gloomclaw will push back to room 4. No pressure. As promised, here's the full encounter start to finish. Enjoy. So here we are on the pole, waiting for the tanks to bring the adds over to the essences. It's important that when they die, they are really close to the essence. That way the little green puddle gets dropped right next to the essence. Then right after cleaning up that pack, we go right over to Gloomclaw. Around that time, he will cast his first Rupture. The next wave of adds start coming in, so we just peel off Gloomclaw and start going back to clearing them. Right here, we were actually going to go back and start clearing those adds, but we pushed instead. So those adds are actually going to come with us into the next room. We just decided to really focus on DPSing Gloomclaw right here. So on to room 2. So as you can see, we still have those adds that we need to clear, as well as now these 2 additional new ones. And now we have some additional telegraphs that need to be dodged. I don't know why, but during this video, I seem to step in every one of them. So between ad waves, we actually just start DPSing Gloomclaw, trying to get him down to his minimum HP. And then as soon as new ads come up, we just switch right back. Then we start heading over to Gloomclaw, started the move, which was absolutely great. We were already in good position. And we're now off to room 3. So this room is where things start really getting hairy. Usually when a Ravager pops, it will already be ready to start casting an ability. Earlier in the video I mentioned just interrupt Corrupting Wall or whatever. Try to interrupt them all. They're all awful, and you really want moves throughout the fight. So essentially just interrupt everything you can. Back to Gloomclaw for a little DPS. Back to killing adds. And you see these ones are empowered, so we really had to focus on getting them down, interrupting them, whatever, to keep them off the essence. Back onto Gloomclaw, we're pushing again. Time to burn. Onto room 4. So slingers are going to go off, do their job of kiting and picking up adds. We just roll around and pick up these little flakes. We don't designate areas or anything, it's just people randomly grabbing stuff as quick as they can. Alright, another transition. I want to point out specifically for this move, we do not use our cooldowns and gadgets, just so we have them available for the trash in the next room, because clearing, the amount of trash that we start running into is quite a bit, so we want to try to get rid of them as fast as possible. Alright, heading into room 5, we use our gadgets and cooldowns to try to burn down all this trash really fast. You want to try to get through it really before things get overwhelming. And then when you finally push to get the move, drop everything, like none of this trash even matters anymore. Alright, and that's a kill. And that wraps it up for this encounter. If this video helped you, please drop it a like. For any questions, please use the comments below. Of course, subscribe to this channel for more WildStar raid videos and entertainment, or visit us on redvelvetninjas.com.